So the family honesty, with which I started our conversation in my last video, right? With regard to outside children, right? And not telling your spouse, male or female, right? Let me just plug in this phone because I don't want the video to cut off while I'm making this video, right? Uh, right. I know for charging there, right? So right, we're talking about families outside outside relations and children being born from outside relations without or not born, the unborn and the born children of outside relations outside the immediate family, right? And people being dishonest, both male and female being dishonest about this reality. Right now, this is not only important for the sake of the sanity of your partner to tell the truth, right? But it's also important for the sanity of your child. Right, for example, if I have a stepsister or stepbrother out there, right, or if you have a stepsister or stepbrother out there, right, I believe that you should be aware of this fact and this reality, right? Reason being one, right? Remember, the Quran is about breaking incest, right? If I have a stepbrother or half sister out there, half brother out there, half sister, I end up, right, meeting that person by coincidence, right? Well, there's nothing like coincidence, but by design. If I end up meeting that person by design and I end up being in a relationship with that person now, right, and having sex with that person now, right? What's going to be the scenario and outcome of that, right? So one, the Quran is about breaking incest, and that's what part of breaking incest is being honest with each other, right? Because you don't want I don't want anybody. I would, word forbid that happen to anybody, right? That they're not told that they have a half brother, half sister out there, right? And you grow up, you meet somebody, right? And that person end up being, for example, a half brother or half sister. People don't think about these things when they're being dishonest, right? When they're being dishonest about their outside child, outside this, outside that. People don't think about these things, how it could affect your children and future generations going forward, right? So this is why it's important. Second reason why this is important, right, is because inheritance issues, right? Inheritance matters, right? Meaning, I'm not talking about the collective inheritance that we're supposed to get, right, as profits for the nations and so on. I'm talking about what I was referring to earlier. This is on a micro scale. So I'm talking about inheritance from a family perspective, right? So you have an outside child and then you have a child within your family, right? How are you going to deal with that inheritance situation, and how is your child or children going to be made aware of these realities, right, in the event of your passing? Right, so this is what this need to be, these things need to be made known, right? Because people have to have clarity on these issues. And third issue is why this is important is because it is simply important, right, from the perspective of care and from the perspective of family. It is simply important, and that's actually the real reason, right, why it's important to come forth and say this. Because one, for example, if I have a if I have a sibling out there, right, that I should be known of, like since I'm small, right, I say, hey, my parents should have had three children, but my actual parents should have had three children, right, or four even, because I wanted a sister too. So in those events of caring, right, simple family care, right, for example, if somebody is going through that, you're going through a situation, and for example, you have a brother or a sister out there, right, that you don't know of, right? These is for simple matters of family care. That's why I said the truth can only hurt temporarily, right? But I personally would like to hear that. But if that's the case with me, I put myself in that position because I put myself in some other position out there. I personally wouldn't like to hear that reality, right? But I like to hear the truth, right? And the truth is matters more than what I like and what I do like, right? The truth does matter more than what you like to hear and what you do like to hear, right? I'll say that again. The truth is more important than what you like to hear and what you don't like to hear, right? And that is why this time in history we are calling on people to speak the truth, right? For example, if you have a father who's not your father, a mother who's not your mother, right? A sibling that is not your sibling, or sibling, additional sibling, something, right? It needs to be known for three reasons. As I said, one, incestuous relationships, the breaking of incestuous relationships. Two, inheritance issue, because sometimes you might have a parent out there and not know that that was your father or that was your mother, right? Because it was concealed from you all this time, right? And therefore you have some kind of inheritance money or something to get in the event of that person passing, right? And you're not even aware, hey, that's my father. Hey, you're not even aware, hey, that's my father. That was my father, right? And how that affecting your child now. So sometimes your child might be out there slaving in the world, right? When they could be having inheritance and be from the actual parents who they don't even know, right? So there has been a lot of rumors circulating about what kind of thing in the country and whatever, right? But we deal with this on an international level, for families on a local and international level, right? Because sometimes and this is unjust to the child now, right? Unjust situations to the child, right? In favor of other children, of the parents, other children, right? So this is why we want to deal with those things. Because, for example, and these things happen with people like with big businesses and so on, right? You have a big business and you have children who in your immediate family, then they go outside, have sex with somebody else, they make a child, right? And that outside child, right? They remain an outside child, unknown, and they have that child slaving out there in the world, right? When they're supposed to be getting the inheritance of that family business as well, or participating in that inheritance, right? So this is the things that we call on people to come forth and be honest about, right, and bring clarity towards, because I believe there are a lot of children in the world out there, right, adult children and small children who have a lot of money to collect all over the damn place, right? And I here to bring justice and to ask Allah to deal with justices, them kind of justice situation, so that people, children and people get a flipping money, right? So that's that, and that's on a micro family level, right? I'm not even dealing with the real inheritance stuff I was talking about, because that it looked like we gotta wait till we turn skeleton for, right? So talking about on a micro level and these outside situations, outside this, outside that, right? Clarifying all them outside matters, right? Because all it is do real unjust and do people and children real dirty out here, right? The whole world is we doing people and children real dirty out here, and I don't like that, right? I don't like them things, right? So that's all I'm calling on Allah and asking Allah to deal with situations like that, right? So that people get the opportunity to participate in the wealth distribution process on a micro level, which is a family level for those children who were victims of injustice in that manner, right? Good.